Did you find out anything about Yuna?
I'm looking into it, okay? Don't worry, I'm using a sphere oscillifinder. If she's out there, we'll get her.
A sphere oscillifinder?
It's an ancient machina. I don't know how it works either, so don't ask me, okay?
So Curtis, I see that you might have an intro planned, which when I went upstairs, I was like, hey, I have an idea for an intro. I think we may have had a similar idea.
You also have an instrument. All right, you do
Yours
yours
is
first.
probably less stupid as mine. I was like, hey boys, where are we going today? I can't even fucking play. Wait, what the fuck?
One note flatter.
It was my guitar was out of tune.
Oh.
This is good podcasting.
Bum, 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 bum.
Do you know where we're going? You in the home, baby.
I was gonna go. I've been through Sanubia Desert on a chocobo with no name. It feels good to be home again.
I was like, maybe I can learn Homeward Bound by Simon and Garfunkel. I said that super Philly. Homeward Bound.
Home. So that was a weak-ass intro to the Every FNFF podcast. I'm Curtis.
I'm Carl. All of our intros are weak ass.
Hey.
And I'm Alex.
Hello, Alex.
Dead weak-ass.
Weak ass.
Yes. Where are we today? Where are we going today? Where are we today? We're all in the place that we're going.
We're going home for Christmas.
I'll be home for
That
Christmas.
would have been the best intro of all. Because we're literally going to be home for Christmas.
This is coming out on Christmas too, right?
Yes.
God damn it.
All right, rewind. We got to do it again.
All right. Yeah, so we're going home to the Al Bed's home, which is called home.
Yes, much like we'll be meeting a familiar friend who I don't know if we got his name yet, but his name is
Kamari.
He's Riku's brother, and he's named Brother because the Albed are really good at naming shit.
The Al Bed are very, very literal people.
Yeah.
Like they're not actually blood related. Brother is just everyone's brother. That's his name.
Yeah.
So yeah. But what did we get from last time? Last time we got out of a fucking war zone outside of home, right?
Oh yeah. We had the cutscene with the Guado
Keiyaku!
are like laying siege on home.
Yeah, and then you robbed Keiyaku's body of his high potions.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't using them.
Bastard.
Rip to a real one.
Rip to a real one. I'll
Pouring out
never
my
forget all
40
the
of
memories
Albed
that we had with
potion
him.
for what's his name?
All right, but yeah, right after that, we're able to go right in the front door, right? Like there's just the main entrance to it, and it's pretty cool. It does lead to a atrium. Or no, wait, an atrium doesn't have a ceiling, does it?
It's a lobby.
It leads to a lobby.
A foyer, perhaps.
The mudroom.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty fucking tight though. Like, what's kind of weird? I don't know the backgrounds for the HD remaster. I'm not sure how much they did to those. I know that they changed a lot of the character models, but I feel like a lot of the backgrounds in Home just look really fucking good. Because like a lot of what we've been dealing with through this part of the game, I feel like is like actual polygons that like the camera swoops over. You know what I mean? Because like the camera's not static in this game. It moves around, so it has to be like actual modeled terrain. But none of the terrain in Home is modeled, or some of it is, but a lot of it is just static cameras. And when they have static cameras, they can go a lot more in depth about what's in the area. And boy, do they in these areas! It looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks
like-
very much like the Star Wars prequels, like Phantom Menace, just like
Yeah.
areas in that where it's like super technologically advanced, but also kind
Yeah.
of like weirdly fantasy and old timey sort of.
And not a railing in sight.
not a railing in sight. Yeah, it looks like there's in this room there's like a middle section to the room that you can stand on. That's kind of like a circular platform with different catwalks coming out from it, but this thing must have taken a page from like the fucking Mako reactors where they're just like, safety, no, it's fine. You just walk down this catwalk with no handrails. Like, it's cool.
I think here, lore-wise, it makes a little bit more sense than the Mako reactor for like not having railings or just kind of being like, it is what it is.
The Albed
like,
don't have an OSHA of their own.
Yeah, when we learn more about Home, specifically, like I think it kind of makes sense that there wouldn't necessarily be like railings and shit.
That's
Evan
fair.
did something really bad. They hit us with an OSHA violation.
But yeah, as soon as we run in, everybody shouts. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Yuna, where are you?" Because that's where we're going in here, right? We're going to repel the Guado and to find Yuna because she's been taken here by the Albed. And this begins a series of immediately begins a series of fights in Home that begin in the most startling fucking fashion, where like over the course of like 3 or 4 frames, like a monster gets up in your face and a battle starts. Because as soon as Waka says, "Yuna, where are you?" a bomb falls from the ceiling and you're just in a battle, and the animation is so fast and so startling. It's really wild.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what it is that's falling, but like I actually have screenshots here, and the camera's doing that weird like dreamy sort of effect thing where everything is like, you know, it's like a 3DS in 3D mode, but you're not looking at it with 3D or something.
Yeah,
and
right.
You can actually see like several bombs like towards the back of this room, like coming kind of towards you, and then like it just starts the battle, and we're in a fight with a Guado Guardian and 3 bombs.
You hate to see it.
I don't want to hear the word Guardian for a while.
Yeah. Oh god damn it. I didn't even think of that.
I still haven't because I haven't been on Twitter.
Good. Don't go.
That's a wise move.
That's a wise move right now. Anyway, but yeah, it is a Guado
Okay,
Guardian.
we'll change
3
it.
bombs.
It's a Guado Marine.
And here's how you beat them: is you have Orin do his overdrive that he has ready to go and overkill all of them at once. Yeah, got them all.
Yeah.
But if not, I guess the usual applies. Take out the Guado first because he's going to be assisting the other enemies, and then take on the bombs after that. And we've already experienced bombs before on the Mihin High Road. They're stronger now, but they're not any different.
Yeah, same thing. Same Final Fantasy enemy. If you didn't use Lancet on them before, like I didn't, you can use it now and learn Self-Destruct.
I should have done that and did not.
Which is a move that I will probably never use because it doesn't seem worth it for.
Right.
I will not sacrifice Kimari. I would never.
I would never do that to my good boy.
Yeah, pretty simple fight. I'm pretty sure I don't know if I have the scope for or the the sensor or whatever. Oh yeah, no, I do. For the Guardian. Pretty much all it says is tries to nullify Lulu's magic. That's its whole like reason for existence. Is just to cast silence on Lulu.
Another Lulu simp.
Yep.
You can't say that on Twitch now.
You gotta stop with the silencing of women.
Anyway.
Yeah, we got to cancel this Guado Guardian.
That's right. After the battle, Waka says, "What in Yevon's name are those Guado thinking?" And a door opens that we're allowed to go through now, right? And like we were allowed to proceed further into Home, and Riku runs off, and actually the rest of the party does, and we're allowed to run after them. And then we're in like a hallway. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about that area? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, not really.
All right, so we get to like a series of hallways. Now these are actually modeled. These are not like pre-rendered backgrounds here, but it's like tight quarters, so it still looks really good. And like Home is beat the fuck up, dude. Like we could tell in the room before.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's like all the furniture in the actual homes?
Albed also don't sit. They just Slav squat.
Hell yes.
That's one machina they can get behind banning.
That's a step too far. That's too blasphemous.
Yeah, they
No
don't like
gamer
the,
chairs.
the Yevon decadence, the Yevonista decadence of relaxing and sitting down. They do like sectionals though, weirdly.
But yeah, dude, Home is getting like fucked up, dude. Like in that room we were just into, like a lot of the catwalks are blown up and there's like piping, extruding from the wall that shouldn't be. Everything's on fire, and like this area is no different. Like it looks like it's worn probably from natural use as well, for just being old pieces of scrap metal that they put together to make this place. But like everything is also on fire, and like panels are blowing up. There's electricity coming out of the wall. OSHA would have a field day here.
Yeah, I like how all of the doors here, like we're running down this like corridor or whatever, they just look like storage units.
They are, yeah. All the rooms are like storage units, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a U-Haul, yeah.
But as we run through the hallway, an intercom comes on, and it has Sid on it, and he's saying in Al bed, he says, "This bites." Riku, you read me? You go under too. I am leveling home, and the fiends with it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you
Yeah.
can't hear all that because it's in Al bed. But Riku turns around and says, "Oh no!" And then Waka's like, "Cool, what did he say?" And she says,
We have to get underground.
Where's Yuna?
The Summoner Sanctum. This way.
and like. Riku never tells the party why we have to get underground. She's like, "Don't worry about it. Like, it's
Yeah.
cool. Let's go find Yuna."
What's interesting too is I was able to like kind of like make out what he was saying with like the most of the primers that I have, and I saw
Yeah.
we're leveling it, but for some reason, like I guess just like everything happening so fast and not reading it clearly and just like kind of translating it, I didn't know what he meant by we're leveling it, and I was like, huh. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think, and like,
I'm
and now I'm thinking back.
equalizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I was
going
like,
to
oh, cool,
blow
they're
up,
leveling it up.
And like, not to, I don't think it's a spoiler, but just keep your eyes peeled. Keep a watch out for every time Sid has any idea through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It seems to always be like, "We'll blow it up."
Yeah.
And us along with it. And everyone's like, "Sid, stop."
That's your answer to everything, Sid.
Did they literally say that? Anyway.
It's so good. But yeah, after Riku says that, we get another one of those like quick encounters.
It is
where
so
we have,
quick, dude. It's so
Yeah.
scary too.
there's just
I'm
like
watching
one of
it.
these beasts just jumps forward at the screen, and then we get like the glass shattering animation transition thing.
Dude, we
that,
see it
like-
running down the hallway for a second too before it runs
Yeah.
up. It's
Yeah, it's
so
super cool.
wild.
But yeah, and then it's just 2 dual horns and another one of the Guado Guardians.
The dual
Not really
horns
too
can,
much.
I was gonna say, dual horns can fuck you up though. If they use gore on you, they will
Yeah.
ruin your
Yeah, we
day.
talked about them on the Mihen High Road, but we'd
Yeah.
only like fight them maybe one at a time, I think. At that
Right,
time.
yeah. And now they're like tough as sin. I mean, not sin, the big kaiju
Not sin, but
But, yeah.
you know,
I
Tough
gotta,
as tool dual horns.
I gotta find another metaphor.
tough as Sephiroth.
Tough as Sephiroth. But yeah, again, not too bad if you just kind of plot it out. As long as you're like careful, they're not difficult battles. But like when you need to heal in any of these battles, you should do it. And when you need to like switch somebody out, you should do it. Because like shit can go real south real fast on any of these fights.
Yeah, I had recently done a lot of level grinding. Like, as soon as all the shit with home went down, I was like, hang on a second. I'm going to try and get as many of those, I forget what they're called, the shadow...
Gems.
Gems, yeah.
Shadow Realm.
The Chaos Emeralds. I wanted to get as many of those from the sandworms as I could, and I unlocked Mug by the end of it with Riku. So like with these fights, I was pretty much just like haste on Riku, completely like just keep mugging everything to steal their shit, and like then like bring in Auron and Titus to finish it. So I didn't really have too much trouble with with these guys.
So we talk a lot about questionable decisions that Final Fantasy X made, and like this is such a minor one right here, but it pisses me off to no fucking end. So as soon as that battle is over and Riku's like, "Okay, this way," and she runs down the hallway, there's a door right behind you and to the left. And if
Yeah.
you try to run backwards to it, she says, "No, not that way." And if you want to get to that door, you have to run down the stairs to the next camera angle, then back up the stairs, and then it will allow you to go into that room. But for whatever reason, you have to go down the stairs first, and that's so fucking stupid.
That's weird because when I did this, I might have like gone forward to like the next area or something, but I didn't get that dialogue of no, not that way until I went into this room.
Really, it's for me. It was only when I tried to walk backward immediately. Like if nothing else happened, she was like, "This way," and then I ran backward. She goes, "No, not that way," and I was like,
Weird.
"But I want in that room."
Yeah.
Very
do you want
odd.
to talk about that room?
Let's talk about that room. The fucking
cool.
second you open that shutter door, another dual horn jumps out at you, and you have to fight it. Like, and it's another really fast action. You have to beat it up. But
There was a second room though.
there's a bunch of rooms.
Maybe I'm talking about the second room.
Yeah, the one that's like farther down, and then you go down a hallway into the right instead of going down the stairs.
There's that one.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking.
No, I'm talking about backwards. Literally, if you go backwards, back toward the entrance of home, there's a door.
Oh, okay. What do you get out of there?
So you get a dual horn fight out of it. But after that, there's a treasure chest in there, and it's called a treasure chest of dreams. But everything is in Albed. So the name Treasure Chest of Dreams is in Albed. Everything's in Albed. And the gimmick of home is that all the treasure chests require input from you to either get them or to determine what's in them. So the treasure chest of dreams, when you talk to it, it says, the treasure chest asks, what do I contain? And you get to pick what is in the treasure chest. But all of the solutions are in Albed. So if you didn't know Albed, you might just pick a random one and get like, here's a potion, and like, oh, whatever. But if you have all your primers, or if you have all the primers at least up to this point, you should be able to make most of them out. And some of them are enemies. Some of the solutions are you open it and it's a set of enemies and you get nothing.
Yeah, that's
but
sick.
Your options are a bomb, elixir, high potion, mega potion, soft, chimera, potion, remedy, or evil eye. So I chose the mega potion because give me that mega potion.
Give me that Eevee.
Give me that Eevee. Yeah. Is it Squirtle, Charmander, or Bulbasaur?
I was worried that I might have to reload a save and go back for that, but it doesn't sound like the loot is particularly good. I'm wondering if like any of those enemies are worth fighting. Like I think we fought the evil eye before. I'm wondering if if you can like steal anything from them.
Well, there's another treasure chest in there too that's a little bit better than that one.
Oh, man,
but I think you can get what's in it later. I mean, not this one for reasons that we'll disclose, but you talk to the treasure chest and it says, enter the proper password in Albed. Or I'm sorry, enter the password in proper Albed. And that's in Albed as well. And it gives you a series of 3 words in English, and then you have to pick them out of the Albed words. But if you have all your primers, you just see them in plain English as well.
Yeah.
So the words are sorry, wait, and pardon. And like all the words that you have to choose from are very, very close to those words.
Yeah.
So for sorry, there's like tally or rally or worry or lorry. So like you have to have enough of them to pick it, or you're just guessing.
Even if you don't have like all of the primers, it still might be a little tricky.
Exactly. But if you get all 3 of them, you get a friend sphere, which allows you to go to any space that your friends on the sphere grid are currently occupying. So, like, if you're Titus and you use it, you can go to any of the other 6 characters' current location without having to use one of your sphere levels.
Fuck. Is this a limited resource, I'm wondering? Or can you, like... I wonder if you can,
Well, look, eventually we're going to get to the Calm Lands, and all of this is going to be a moot point because you're going to be able to move around, like, 80 fucking spaces at once. So...
Cool.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, because that sounds pretty tempting. I was like, I hope it's not like a level 4 sphere or something.
Yeah. Well, man, like, we can get all these spheres. Like, all of them are, like, attainable. Just some of them are more of a pain in the ass than others.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I completely missed that, but I did go down this hallway and, like, to the left or whatever, and went through a door that, like, clearly isn't the area that
To the right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That wasn't even me like being bad at direction. That was me literally just forgetting where it was.
Yo, I want to point out before you go into this room, there's a very nicely modeled briefcase on the floor, and I was like,
oh yeah, I
ooh,
noticed
I wonder
that.
if something's in that. Like, that's way too nicely modeled for there to be nothing in it, and nothing is in it. It's just part of the background, but like, somebody put the time in.
Yeah, and it'll distract you from at the end of this hallway. There's an Albed primer.
Ooh, it might indeed.
So I think that's Albed primer 21. I didn't see it until I left this room, so let me get to that screenshot really quick.
B equals
yeah.
P.
It is 21. Secrets revealed. I equals you.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah.
It's us together. I equals you.
Take that, Ayn Rand, you piece of shit.
FF10 libertarians hate it.
Yeah, but you gain the rank of Albed Unidun, which translates to something I don't know.
Something.
Something cool, probably. But there's more.
You talk about that room, and I'm going to find out what it translates to.
Sure. There's more of these like Albed treasure chests. The first one that I went to has Passford, which is Albed for password, given the primers that I have. But yeah, I was able to make out the first digit is 4 plus 1, the second digit is 7 minus 1, the third digit is 3 times 1, the fourth digit is 2 plus 1. So like if you didn't have a ton of primers, like it would be pretty hard to like guess what this is. You could probably brute force it after a couple of attempts or just like look it up or whatever, but password for me was 5633, and I got
me
a
too.
special sphere, which is pretty sick. I think that lets you unlock a special like command or whatever that someone else on your team already has, in the same way that
Correct.
the black magic one works.
Yeah, like cheer or
Yeah.
focus are specials.
Yeah, exactly. So something that I probably won't use until way late in the game when it's already kind of not necessary.
Yeah, when it's a moot point.
Because I'm just like, oh, I need to save this
Actually,
for the right moment.
You know what? I am going to use that. I'm going to use that the next time I boot up the game. I'm going to use it on Titus, and I'm going to give him the use command.
Oh,
Because
that's a
that
good
is
idea.
such a good command.
Yeah, it really is.
Dude, 2 people throwing Albed potions every turn?
Dude, 2 people throwing fucking shadow gems.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you know how we were talking about how like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, you get, eventually our potion problems are over.
Yep.
We just got our first Albed potion in Sanubia Desert, and my screenshot in the battle in this room or whatever, when you fight a Chimera, it literally has 99 Albed potions now, and I was like, well, that was fast.
Yeah, they really throw them at you in this part.
Yep, they sure do.
Which is good because you don't really have, the white mage, so it makes sense that you
Yeah.
need something. Let's see.
By the way, that rank for the Albed is Orator.
Orator, nice, cool. There's also an Albed completion sphere in here. I'm guessing that might be the same with the other room as well, Curtis, where if you don't have the primers but you do a previous save, you can easily just load that here so that you can get these treasures.
Did you see the other treasure?
I sure did.
Okay.
And it says Albed verification.
Yeah.
And it
Or
says,
it's like a
"Are you
captcha.
Albed?"
Are you
What's
a
that?
robot? No.
Yeah, this is the Albed captcha. Yeah, it says, "Are you Albed?" And then there's 4 answers. They all look like they could say yes or no.
Yeah.
The first one is like say, which is SEY. I
Yeah.
guess like I don't have the Y yet, but so it's an O. But
That's correct,
It's
yeah.
SEY, and then the second one is no. The third one is OES, which is obviously yes, and then the last one is on. So it says like yes and no, and then backwards.
So good.
So you say yes, and then you get to the next one, and it says, name the son of the Albed leader. And this one I actually answered incorrectly.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, okay, well, I know that Sid is the leader. So the answers are Albed Sykes, Sid, Rin Travel Agency, and Brother. And I was like, okay, the only one that kind of makes sense is Sid, but he is the leader, but maybe his father was the leader and he just recently took over or something. So I said Sid, and it was like incorrect. And I think I had to do it again.
Yeah.
But it's Brother, who is
Right. His brother is Sid's son,
Riku's
yeah.
brother, Riku's titular brother. And then the last one I think is, on what island do the Albed live? And it's Yevon, Bikanel Island, Owaka, the 23rd, or home. And it's Bikanel. Oh,
Yeah.
and then there is one more, and it says,
Yeah, I like
what-
this one.
what is Albed in Albed?
Yeah,
And then
how do
it's-
you say Albed and Albed? Yeah.
And it's like the same sort of thing. It's just like jumbles of like Elbod, Al-Deb, which sounds
Abled.
fucking super Dune.
The
yeah.
Aldeb.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
you finally answer that, and you get the skill sphere, which works the same way. Activates node used by allies on sphere grid.
Right. So I haven't got it yet. I pointed this out in FF7 when we did it. I always make a big deal whenever I'm playing a Final Fantasy game, whenever I get quad 9s for the first time, right? And like a
Yeah.
real quad 9s, not any kind of like poisoned an enemy with 1,000,000 HP quad 9s, a real one.
Only legal quad 9s.
Yeah, but I've got over 9,000 for the first time here.
Hell yeah.
I used Waka's overdrive and hit 3 bombs, and I had the I guess like blizzard I hit the slots correctly and then hit all three of them, and I was able to do 9,000 damage to each one. And I only bring that up because I got that encounter on the way out of that room.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, I'm getting so close to quad 9s. So
That
close.
fucking rules. That's awesome. I also got that encounter, and I don't have anything like major to say about it, except for when I won that, I got an item that I think is a Riku weapon, and it's just called Hot Knuckles, which I do not recommend you Google, because I'm sure the Sonic fans have just a plethora of Hot Knuckles content.
Stupid sexy Knuckles.
Stupid sexy Knuckles. Dude, especially Knuckles from Sonic Boom. Are you kidding me? What
Himbo.
a Chad.
What a Chad
Himbo.
himbo.
He's also a feminist.
Hell yeah, I love that scene.
There you go. He is a himbo because he's dumb. So it counts.
He is dumb, but he also did you ever see the clip of him talking about like sexism, like out of the blue?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, whoa, Knuckles, what? And he's like, what? I'm a feminist.
Yeah.
Critical support to Hot Knuckles.
I hear that show is good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
But if
Hot
we go down,
Knuckles, check it and see. I also took this opportunity to do like just a quick customization, because I realized that the Devastator that Riku has an empty slot. So I was like, oh, okay, I wonder what I can do. And there was a couple of options that I was like looking at, and then I was like, wait, it's pretty easy to get this same exact like base weapon and just do it. So I just gave it I think I just gave it like the scope, so that way like the team that I've been using, I can just always see what the HP and stuff is. But there is a cool one that I can unlock, which I probably won't. And if I use a teleport sphere, I can do evade and counter, which sounds like a really kick-ass thing. Like you
does
avoid
sound
an attack, and
kick-ass.
then there was another
Yeah.
one, I think, maybe. Yeah, I can't remember. It seems like a lot of these customizations aren't really worth it unless you have a shit ton of like extra like skill spheres and stuff, which like at this point, like not worth it.
right. So after we are done with all that's really everything that's out of the way in Home. And now that I think about it, all of Inside Home takes place within like 4 screens. It's actually not very big now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot going on here. But anyway.
But I think that's and like I don't think we really mentioned it, but in the first room there's like catwalks that we were talking about. We can only
Yeah.
go down one of them.
Yeah.
We see like other ones going in all different directions, but like one of them the catwalk is completely destroyed. The other one like the door won't open and stuff. So it's like, yeah, we pretty much just walk down like 3 hallways here, but I'm sure this place is much bigger. It's just
Yeah.
There's urgency here, despite the fact that
Yeah.
I just spent like 4 hours fighting giant worms in the desert. So they like wanted to streamline it, I guess.
If we follow Riku the way that she's going, which is down the left hallway, we end up in this a tall room with a staircase. And the stair, it's like a what would you call it? It's like a stairs that you would find in a warehouse. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like it's not like a fancy spiral stairs or something.
Yeah, it's just like a utility shaft thing.
Utility, that's the word I was looking for.
It's a backstage at MagFest, you know.
Yeah, a gray space.
The every FNFF panel after party is going to be in the depths of the Gaylord Hotel at the next MagFest.
Yo,
where
yeah.
We're just going to find
If
the
we-
utility shaft and the.
If
the
we can
utility.
never get a panel at MagFest, let's have one anyway. We'll just do one
Yeah,
in the
we're-
back hallways.
Yeah, we'll sneak into the back hallways and go to like the furnace.
Yeah, a gorilla panel.
The podcast Sanctum.
Yeah. But we walk into this room and Waka just says,
This place done for.
and like, I think Riku takes that as like, he's just still fucking going at it, where he's like, oh, fucking Al bed. He's like, oh, this place is done for.
What
And
a
she
dump.
goes, yeah, she goes, you're right, Waka. And then she like gets kind of apologist about it, I feel like.
We Albed, we weren't always like this. Sin destroyed the island, where we all used to live. After that, we were scattered to every corner of Spira. But then, my dad brought the Albed together again.
If we put our minds to it and worked together, we could make a new home. Everyone worked hard. We had our home back again. But now, why did things have to turn out this way? And so, like, it's kind of cool because you get a little bit of characterization of Sid, of, like, what Sid's importance to the Albed is here. Like,
Yeah.
he's the person who unified the Albed and brought them together again.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you more context for home. Like I know I've definitely said like, oh, home is such a stupid name. Like what an on the nose kind of thing. But it makes sense that anytime they say home, they don't say it in Al Bhed. They say it in like the language that we all know. Like for us, it's English or whatever. So it's like it would make sense that a different culture would have, and the same thing with brother, honestly, in like a weird way. But like this isn't their original home. The Al Bhed aren't from a place called home. They just were brought to this place after their literal home was destroyed.
It's like the end of Thor Ragnarok. What's the place that they're
Asgard.
Asgard is not a place, it's a people.
Yes.
It's the same for home. Al Bhed is the people, not the place they're from.
Yeah.
Home is where the
heart
Summoner's Sanctum is.
Home is where the heart is, but what a shame, because everyone's heart doesn't beat the same. It's beating out of time. City of the Damned at the end of another lost highway. I don't know if you guys know that song, but
It's a Carl Germ original.
No. It's Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day.
Is that really from that song?
Yeah.
I learned how to play guitar by learning the songs on that album.
Yo, that's a good fucking album.
It's pretty good.
It holds up.
Does it? I haven't listened to it in a long time.
I listened to it recently. I think it does hold up. Mainly because I don't want to be an American idiot. I don't want a nation that's controlled by the media. One nation controlled by the Yevonites.
And the Guado fighting with the owl.
To the propaganda. The subliminal minds. Fuck Yevon, I guess. No, it's a good album. I can't speak for the Broadway show that they wrote about it. I have never seen it.
Well, they were gonna make Fight Club into a musical as well, so not all musicals are great. Like
Yeah.
not everything can be Cats.
Yeah, there's already Cats. Why would any other musical ever need to be made?
Cats was also based on a Green Day album.
Nomura, release the butthole cut, you coward.
Yo, can we talk about the Sephiroth statue with nipples?
I can't see why not. Someone on Twitter recently pointed out that with Sephiroth was recently released for Super Smash Brothers. So obviously the internet's pretty in a fever pitch about it, and there's a costume alt for him where he's like just wearing pants and doesn't have a shirt.
It's the one where you fight him at the very, very end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Which means only Cloud thinks about him with his shirt off, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Critical support to Cloud for that. But yeah, he has nipples in the Smash Bros. Game. Much like Mario before him, Nintendo has now canonized nipples. But someone pointed out that at the Square Enix headquarters, I think, there was a life-size statue of Sephiroth that also had nipples. So it's not canonically the first time Sephiroth has had nipples.
I am
dare those
together.
Antifa fucks to try to destroy my heritage.
Name one person deserving of a statue. Nipple Sephiroth.
Be nippled Sephiroth.
There's two people who deserve a statue. It's Nipples Sephiroth and Hot Knuckles.
It's like the end of Iron Man. They go up and there's the statue of Sephiroth and as a memorial.
So anyway,
Where were we?
So we were at
Riku's-
a really touching moment where Riku pours her heart out and tells the story of the Al Bhed so movingly that even Waka is kind of
Yeah, he
sympathetic
actually
towards
consoles her. He holds
her.
her a
Yeah,
little bit.
he hugs her. Yeah, and he says Riku.
and while that happens, a bunch of enemies start
Creeping.
descending on the party. There's chimeras on the same level and running up the stairs and shit. And our party, with the exception of Waku and Rika. Waku and Rika?
The MF just said Waka and Riku. I couldn't even fucking say. Oh. That's
It's
their
only
ship name.
5:45. I'm not, there's no reason that I should be doing this right now.
It's fine. I'm also as brain busted as you are right now, and I haven't really done much today.
We've been mental broken by Auron.
Yeah, goddamn right.
But yeah. So he's consoling her while these enemies run up on us, and Waka says,
Damn those Guado. What are they thinking?
And then we get into a battle with some Chimera, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is definitely
And
a pretty tough battle.
it can be.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, if you just kind of do it like without any strategizing, it can definitely be tough. But like, luckily, Auron has magic break and physical break, so that really like takes a lot of the like attack power out of them. And
Yeah,
also,
that's
you
the
can
big deal.
cast silence, so they can't use like Thundaga or like whatever they use, Thundara. But notably, if you do silence them, they can still use the
Megiddo
fucking-
Flame.
yeah.
That's a motherfucker of an That's
the Dragon Ball Z attack that they use. On
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And
It does a lot of
Aqua
damage.
Aqua Breath they can still use as well.
That's true. But I beat them. Not too bad. I got Auron to learn Comrade, which I'm never going to use for his
Yeah, why the fuck would
overdrive
Auron
mode.
need Comrade?
Yeah. Well, maybe for farming later, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay.
But then we get to a special scene. It's like a famous Final Fantasy X scene right here.
Yeah.
So as soon as we beat that battle, like we're locked in now. We can no longer go back and go to the other rooms.
I think
So
even
those-
before that, I think as soon as you walk through the door
It's
into
true.
this area, you actually hear the door behind you lock. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
like,
true.
I did that originally, and I heard that lock, and I saw I couldn't go back. So I was like, okay, there's got to be something good back there, but I still only found the one room. I just like
Right,
reloaded a
yeah.
save. Luckily, there's a lot of save points in this game, so it wasn't too big of an issue.
Yeah. But the party's walking down the steps, and Lulu says, Riku, what is the Summoner's Sanctum? And she explains, the Summoner's Sanctum is where we keep the summoners, you idiot.
Well, Summoners means Yuna and her friends, and Sanctum means Sanctum.
She says, we keep them safe there. And Waka says, you kidnap them. And Riku's like, look, I know it's against the teachings and all that. And Waka actually like...
I know kidnapping is against the law and stuff, but you know, like...
Well, Waka seems like oddly like receptive to it now. And he goes,
I get why you did it, but
He's not immediately like dismissive of it like he has been about like literally anything else involving the Albed.
It's just hot girl shit.
he literally says like he knows why he's like, look, no, I understand what your logic is here, which
Yeah,
I
and
did
then
not expect to hear from Waka.
Which is really cool too, and I love this part because it just shows how out of touch Titus is in all
I
of this.
know. Oh, poor Titus.
Because he's just like
Well, I sure don't get it, Waka.
up until this point, anytime Waka said something like stupid or something, Titus was like, yo, dude, come on, like you're being an asshole. And now it's like this weird thing where Waka's like, I get why the Albed, the people who I've hated my entire fucking life and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
have this blood vendetta against, I get why you would kidnap the summons. And Titus is like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Like
And,
clearly
like,
I'm missing something
If
here.
Titus is the cipher for the player, right, I would say that technically we don't understand why they would be being kidnapped either, right?
Yeah.
So, and hopefully we never have to find out.
Yeah. And Titus just says, yeah, they might get hurt on their pilgrimage.
So you kidnap them? I mean, if the summoners don't do their job, then who will beat Sin?
You want to protect them, I know, but Guardians are here for that. If Guardians do their job well, Summoners will be safe. And then, like, the screen flashes white, and then Titus says, right, and it shows everyone's
Oh,
face,
dude.
like, close up on Waka, and Waka's just, like, completely, like, somber and stone-faced, and
He's
everyone's just,
dude.
like... And I think
Everybody's like
doesn't
1,000
Xanarkin
yards
start
stare,
playing
just
here?
not wanting to look at him. Yeah, two Xanarkin starts playing.
Kamari breaks the silence like, it's quiet. Kamari goes now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Titus asks, he's right, like a couple times,
Yeah.
and like
Kimari
fucking-
just starts chomping on
Ko-
something. He's like, Kimari eating because Kimari very uncomfortable.
come at me, James Taylor, but like voice acting for Titus in this section, it's not good.
You didn't think so?
I didn't think so. I didn't
I
think
thought
so.
it was pretty good.
Like he's like,
For the next section, I think it's really good.
oh, I don't think it's good at all. I think it's really bad for both these sections, which I think like probably does have to do with the
It's
timing.
okay to be
thing.
wrong, Curtis.
I guess, man, because he goes right, like very like
Okay, well, maybe not
Scooby-Doo-ish.
that. I just mean the parts
Like,
that are
it's-
like coming up here where he's like the gravity of it all and like the understanding of it all starts to kind of hit
The
him.
thing is, this section has so much gravity, but it doesn't have any because of the fucking voice acting. I'm just like, boy. Like, I want to care about it. But, like, if I turn it on silent, I'd be like, oh, man, so moving. But that's just me, though. So,
that's
but
fair.
anyway, yeah. Yeah, there's a long pause of silence, and nobody wants to speak to Titus or answer his question, right?
Yeah, literally everyone just kind of continues on and just keeps walking. And
Yeah.
Slow motion for you guys?
Yeah. While two Xanarkand is playing. And then, yeah, Kamari does say like it's quiet now, Kamari goes, you know. It's like there is a moment where like the attacking and the firing quiets down, and everybody slowly walks down the stairs. Yeah,
It's real cinematic.
it is very much so. You can
And then
tell
eventually the screen, like, Riku kind of is like the last one to leave. And Titus, it just kind of zooms in on Titus's face, and he just looks like confused and sad. And then the screen goes black, and Riku says, "Yuna, please be here." And then we have control of Titus again, and we can go into the next room if we want to, but we should probably take a look at what's in these chests.
Yes.
There's a visible chest that when you open it, you get a level 2 key sphere, which is pretty good. What could be better than a level 2 key sphere?
There's one that's less visible with a level 4 key sphere, baby.
I was so excited. I was so excited about this.
Where are we getting these 3s? Where are the 3s at?
Yeah, I know. No, it's like I was saying. I was saying earlier in the fucking podcast. I was like, I end up with so many 4s and like no 3s.
So I was very excited about this, and I'd kind of been like planning ahead for this because I did see a couple weeks ago or whenever it was, Curtis, you posted a picture of you finally getting this.
Yes.
And I was like, oh shit. So I haven't moved Kimari from like his like hub because he's very close to Ultima.
Ultima, yeah.
And I was like, yo, I can finally do this. And then like as soon as I got this, I went into the sphere grid and I was like, I need 4 of these fucking things to get to Ultima. Or I think I need 3.
Okay.
Which I don't have right now.
Yeah, I think it might be 3, but you can go either way around the circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's 4 around it, but you only need 3 to get to it. But I was like, here's my game plan. I'm going to unlock Ultima with Kamari. I'm going to get that shit. I'm going to use the black
magic sphere
the
with
black
Lulu.
magic one with Lulu to get Ultima with Lulu as well.
This cat's a glass cannon.
Does Lulu or Yuna have more magic power?
Oh, that's a good question. I should probably look into that. It might be Yuna. I never use black magic with her.
I wonder if
She's never around. She doesn't get enough AP.
I know.
Yeah. For all I know, Yuna could be dead
Why would you say that?
because she's not in the party.
Why would
They're
Yuna
just
die?
throwing
Why
all
would
these
Yuna
out.
die in a game about summoning and Yuna? And
Carl
stuff?
lacks summoner
Yeah.
permanence.
Hey, speaking of which,
Yeah, Yuna's gonna live forever. It's fine.
you know what I really, really fucking hate? Like, it's the bane of my fucking existence.
What's that?
Stairs, because I'm a fat guy. So I
Okay.
hate walking up and down stairs. So I think I might need a rest after we get down at the bottom of these stairs before we
Sure.
go into this.
Sounds good
this
to me.
room.
Let's make camp here, and we'll make for getting underground so that when home gets leveled, we don't go with it. We'll make for that in the morning.
Yeah, it sounds good. I think we have time to burn.
I'm sick of fucking home and everyone in it. Let's fucking get it. Let's get.
Well, I got
get
good
rid of
news
it.
for you, buddy.
They're gonna build some new condos here.
Oh no.
Fucking gentrifying fucking Beacon L.
So yeah, we walk into the next room, right? And it's just like a big cube. It's a big cube room.
It's like where they would keep Metal Gear or some shit.
Oh, it is. I was gonna say where they would keep like folding chairs, but yeah, probably like Metal Gear would be here.
Metal Gear.
Much cooler.
I was like, yeah, it's like that room in like a school where they just keep all the tables and folding chairs and you have to roll them out for events. That's this room. So yeah, we run in and Kimari says,
Yuna!
and like, dude, everybody in here is fucking dead. They're just like piles of bodies.
Yeah,
Very upsetting.
the bodies have officially hit the floor.
Wait, what kind of bodies though?
Albed bodies.
Oh
Yeah.
no! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
also on the stairway that we just ran down, like when we get towards like the bottom of it, like you can actually see an Albed like in pretty clear definition just laying dead on the stairs that we like ran past. I was like, damn.
Oh my gosh.
There's some real Albed carnage going on. It's real fuckered. But yeah, after Kamari yells Yuna, we hear Donna's voice. Donna's here in this room and she says she's not here. And then like the camera like focuses on her and she says,
Hello again. Wait there until we have performed the sending.
and then Isaru and Maroda are shown here too. And I assume Passe's here. I mean, he is here. I know he's here.
Yeah,
he's in
yeah.
the scene. But Isaru says they died protecting us. It's not much, but the least we can do is give them a proper sending. And so, like, the Albed have been fighting off the Guado to protect the summoners here.
Yeah.
It's really wild, yeah. And Passe is here. Passe runs up to Titus and say, hey, what is sacrificed? And, like, don't jerk me around, Passe. If you know how to say all these other words, you know what sacrificed means. Don't
Yeah.
you jerk me around, fella.
Yeah, and he goes on and he says,
The Al Bhed said summoners were being sacrificed. That summoners shouldn't have to do a pilgrimage.
and then Titus goes, why couldn't they trust the Guardians to protect the summoners? The Al Bhed had no right stopping their pilgrimage. And then Riku like cuts him off and just says, the pilgrimages have to stop.
And there's a really cool camera swoop here too, where it's like the camera's pointing up at the characters, like so you see like the beneath their chin. Exactly, yeah. And it swoops over to Riku. Face. Yeah, and so like it like swoops over and like zooms into Riku while she's saying this. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she says, if they don't and they get to Xanarkand, they might defeat Sin. Uni could.
But then Uni will die, you know?
And like it zooms in on her face and stuff, and then it kind of just like takes it a different perspective now where it's like above like rafters almost and just looking down on our party. And Riku says, you know that, don't you? Summoner's journey to get the final Aeon. Yuna told you, didn't she? With the final Aeon, she can beat Sin. But then, if she calls it, then the final Aeon's going to kill her. Even if she defeats Sin, it will kill Uni too, you know?
And then she drops to her knees. And like, oh, the final Aeon must be a real motherfucker then.
Yeah.
That sucks.
He'll kill anything that moves.
Yeah, our journey is to go summon the thing that will shoot. It's like in Family Guy where Peter Griffin builds the Rube Goldberg machine and it goes through the whole machine and at the end it just shoots him in the chest and he's like, why would you go through all of that? All it does is shoot you. And so like all of our journey like to Xanarkand is just like the Pee-wee's Playhouse music playing and at the very end it just shoots us. And at the end the fucking final Aeon just kills you.
Yeah, if you actually speed up to Xanarkand to twice the speed, it's just the Rube Goldberg machine song.
I fucking ruined that song for myself when I did the mashup. What was the Metallica song?
Fade to Black.
Yes, Fade to Xanarkand, yeah.
Yeah.
But like Titus is finally, arrived.
Yeah, he
where
finally
we pretty
knows.
much kind of figured everything out with the context clues leading up to this. And he says, was I the only one who didn't know? And I think he like grabs Riku, right? And he says, tell me why.
He grabs her and shakes her.
Yeah, he says, why were you hiding it?
And
why
then,
didn't
look,
I
all right,
know?
hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. This is where it begins for me because Titus goes, tell me why. Like it's very like odd. Tell me why.
Well, I think a lot of it was sped up and I don't think it's his fault.
I think so. I think that's the thing is that like he
deliberately is like, that was a great performance, but it's just not going to fit, so we're going to fucking figure it out later, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Everything has to be
We don't want to make James
fast.
speak faster in another take, so we're just going to speed it up.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then it shows Waka's face, and he just says,
we weren't hiding it.
It was just too hard to say.
and it shows Auron, and he's just like completely silent.
Auron
It
and
shows
Kimari say nothing.
Yeah, they're both silent. And Titus just starts like screaming, right?
Yeah, he like screams and he's like punching the ground and like yelling. He's like yelling at the party too. He has a little bit of like a little breakdown and like I get it.
It's understandable.
I get it. It's understandable. Kind of. I don't know, man. I think he goes like, I get it. I get why he's upset. But then he's like, oh, it's everyone else's fault. And I'm like, Titus, shut the fuck up.
Honestly, I think it's just like he's probably more pissed at himself for not realizing this, and he's just like lashing out at anything because it's like such devastating news to him that he's like, fuck, I'm such a fucking idiot, and everyone here just let me be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What is your problem? I've been calling her Crandall. Yuna's last name is Krabappel?
He says,
Lulu, how could you? Isn't she like a sister to you? I thought you were family. Why don't you do something, Waka?
and Lulu says, don't you think we tried to stop her? She follows her heart. And Waka says,
Yuna, she knew what she was doing when she chose to become a summoner. To face sin, yeah? Yuna knew.
so like, and I understand where like Lulu and Riku or I cannot talk. I cannot say people's fucking names. Lulu and
They're
Waka.
goofy ass names. Let's get real. Waka? Come on. Riku? Pretty cool. Okay. Lulu? Normal.
Lulu, that's
Auron,
just part of the
cool
Metal
as
Gear
hell.
Solid bad guys. Lolly Lululo. But like I get where they're coming from, you know what I mean? They're saying like, look, we've known you forever, and she decided to do this a long time ago. So they're like emotionally prepared. You know what I mean?
They've
they're
come to
ready
terms
for it.
with it, and it's also a thing too where they've grown up in Spira. Their entire life has been shaped around like centuries of Sin doing this shit and summoners doing this shit. It's just like normal to them.
Right,
For Titus, it's just like, wait, no, I thought like it was just like a JRPG where we go and kill the last bad guy and then everything's good and then the world is saved. Like, you're telling
Are there
me that
JRPGs in Xanarkand? Are they able to play Wild Arms 3? But then Riku comes in and she says, "But Waka, that's just totally wrong."
Summoners shouldn't have to sacrifice themselves just so the rest of Spira can be happy, right?
And then a fucking monster appears.
It's the Wendigo.
It's the Wendigo. He pyre flies in. I guess our argument has been going for so long now. Like Titus and everybody is explaining it to each other, and like the dead bodies and their pyre flies are just becoming fiends. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
Whoops.
that does make sense.
Yeah, I hate to see that. But yeah, so we kind of get like the different perspectives of the party members on this new revelation, right? That like at the end of a pilgrimage, the summoner dies, right?
Yeah.
So we see what like Titus is like learning about it for the first time, very upset. Everybody else knows and is cool with it. I wonder what Auron's deal with it is.
He's very
like,
silent about it as per usual.
Yeah, because if he went on a pilgrimage with Jecht and Braska, right?
Yeah.
I think now we know what happened to Braska, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Presumably. And like,
well, yeah, he ushered in the calm, so.
But why? And I know that we'll get an answer to this. Like, I am playing a little bit coy, but like, why would Auron want so badly to do it again? Especially if he's like,
fucking slaps, man.
Yeah, it's just
he
great.
loves death, dude. He fucking loves it.
He craves it.
Because he hates Yevon. I mean, he's like the one who's like, no, fuck Yevon. We'll kill Yevon if we have to. I don't give a fuck.
Attack and dethrone Yevon.
We'll attack and dethrone Yevon. I don't fucking give two shits. So it's odd that somebody who feels that way is like, no, yeah, we should do it again. Like, that's a great idea.
I'm telling you, he loves death.
Boy loves death. But yeah, after the Wendigo pops in, Isaro and Donna are still here. And speaking of like Riku saying like, oh, the summoners shouldn't have to do that, Isaro says, but that is our choice. And Donna says, we all live in fear of sin. You know that. And Isaro again, a world without sin. That is the dream of all Yevon's children. And then they just start summoning, and it's sick as fuck.
Oh yeah, it is really cool.
Dude, it's
we
good.
See all of our familiar friends, all of our Pokemon, our entire team's here.
One of them
Pikachu,
summons Valfor, and the other one summons
Zumacroom.
Ifrit. Zumacroom.
Do you think they planned this? Like, okay, like they started like kind of draw straws. Like, well, I want Ifrit.
Oh yeah, because you can't summon more than one at one time. Yeah.
Well, I'm youngest. I should get to choose. Like,
that's why you can't have like too many summoners alive at once. Because in a crucial moment, you'll just try to summon Ifrit, and you're like, oh no, somebody's already checked it out from the blockbuster. Oh no, like
it's just bottlenecked.
Yeah, it's bottlenecked, and so you're fucked. You have nothing.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like
summon.
graphics cards, man. There's just like not enough to go around.
Yeah, you have to go to nowinstock.com to see what the Ifrit status is. The people in the comments are like super degens and just fucking terrible. But you can't help it. Like
this fucking crypto miners ruined it for everyone.
Yeah.
I like to think it's like when you rent Chrono Trigger from Blockbuster when you're a kid, and you put your save game on there, and you know you'll be able to rent it again 1 week from now because your parents won't let you do it 2 weeks in a row, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, I hope nobody saves over my game that I saved on there, or I'm gonna have to start from the beginning again.
Yeah,
I hope nobody teaches Ifrit a skill or like removes one of the skills that I taught it.
I'm trying to think of the most fucked up thing you could do with someone's save file in a game like that rented out from Blockbuster. Because like if that was still a thing that happened today, like people would absolutely just do it to fuck with people.
Yeah, probably. Bastards. Anyway, so they summon a bunch of summons, and then there's like, I think this is pretty good. Titus gets lucky here as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
Titus is
absolutely. He's being a little piss boy.
He's like still being a bit of an emotional wreck, and he runs up to Valfor and start punching Valfor in the fucking stomach. And I was like, you are lucky that the Faith are not vengeful. Like, because like that is an Aeon, and it would rip you to pieces.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like, I'm so mad, I'm gonna punch this tiger. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. But like, also, how did he not just like shatter his fucking fist by punching it? Because like, Valfor's abs look like steel. Like,
like Valfor doesn't have like 6-pack abs. It has like a 2-pack. Like its abs are made out of one giant muscle on either side.
Yeah,
it's good shit. But
Titus kind of realizes how big of an idiot he's been.
I know. That's the thing. I think that's why Titus is so upset too.
Yeah.
Not just because of the revelation, but because of like he realizes what he's been doing and what he's been saying the whole time, and like how it kind of makes him an asshole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh my god, I've been putting my foot in my mouth for so fucking long.
It's that moment of just like absolute like self-loathing when like because I feel like everyone's kind of had a situation like this in their life where they realize like they said something that they shouldn't have, like thinking like totally innocuously or whatever, like not even thinking about it, and then like later on you find out that what you said was like the worst possible thing you could have said, and you're like, oh my fucking god, I just want to crawl into a hole and die. Bring her to the hole.
Yeah. Your mom joke, and a week later somebody's like, yeah, you know their mom just died like 2 days ago. Like they were just being kind and not saying anything, and you're like,
yeah,
no. But yeah, so like Titus has basically had like 30 hours of doing exclusively that at this point.
He's like, Yuna, I can't wait to live forever after all this is done. I'm going to show you how to play blitzball. She's like, that's nice, Titus.
I know, and she's been so like halfway receptive to it and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should come back here after the pilgrimage.
Yeah, it'll be fine. If you beat Sin, we'll just beat him again.
I'm going to learn how to play you a song on guitar. After the pilgrimage, of course.
Yeah. But he's hitting Valfor and says,
And I've been telling Yuna, let's go to Xanarkin together. Let's beat Sin. I told her all the things. We could. And all along, the whole time, I didn't know anything. But Yuna, she'd just smile.
And Valfor like looks like it's a sentient being, and it like bows its head and like seems like it understands his pain, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I kind of like that about the Aeons and the Faith. Like they have like a very like weird otherworldly vibe to them, but they're also like sentient and understand the emotions of people. I guess because they are the souls of like warriors, right? Can we say that's what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valfor says, ain't that just the way?
Yeah. And then we get a flashback of the scene in Luca just before they do the laughing and everything, and we get to see that again. And I won't go through every single line of dialogue, but like it does make a pretty good contrast to this moment where you're like really seeing Titus being like, oh, I'm really bummed out, and you're just like, it's okay, friend, you just have to smile more, we're all gonna have a good time, we're gonna have a good pilgrimage. And you're like, man.
yeah, because I mean we obviously already talked about this. This is like the big famous scene that everyone remembers from the game, and like everyone remembers it because of how like goofy it is, but this kind of paints that whole thing in a completely different light when you actually know what's going on, because she's like, yeah, like it's weird for me as a summoner to say this, but we're kind of like Spira's light, we're like their hope, so like no matter how sad I get, I have to always be smiling. And she wasn't just saying like, oh, you know, I'm sad because I see so much destruction and stuff. She's like, no matter how sad I get, that I am going to fucking die by like sacrificing myself for the greater cause. Like no matter how sad I get, I just have to laugh and I just have to smile and I have to make people like happy, despite the fact that everyone fucking knows I'm doing this and how this is going to end for me.
Well, yeah, it's like why her last line was like, I want my journey to be full of laughter, not like my life. She's saying like, this is literally the rest of my life is this journey.
Yeah, exactly.
The journey is going to be literally the last thing I do. Yeah. So don't fucking bring it down, dude.
Yeah, right.
You're fucking ruining this.
What does anyone
You're really killing the vibe of this fucking death race. Like,
does anyone remember what Titus was like being a piss baby about?
I think because he just found out about his dad. I think.
Yeah, he just found out about Jecht.
About Jecht being Sin.
Yeah.
Okay,
and,
so
and also
this is when Oren was dragging him around. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, and also Oren was treating him like a little piss baby.
he's kicking the ground like, no, want to fucking go.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I couldn't remember if it was something like, no, you can't play blitzball today or something. And he's just like, oh man, I have the hardest life out of anyone here. Oh wait, since it's a like a Christmas episode, it reminds me of a joke from Futurama on the Christmas episode where like you find out that that Leela is like an orphan and she has no family and stuff. And Fry is like, oh my God, I thought I was lonely because everyone I know died like 1,000 years ago, but like Leela's never even had a family. And he says something like,
I feel like a rat. Here I am whining like a pig, while all along Leela was as lonely as a frog. I could kick myself.
I'll do it for you.
Ow! Thanks.
Bender tries cheering him up by dancing. He's like, hey, I know what'll cheer you up, Fry. And he like dances. He's like, look at me, look. And he does this dance. And Fry just starts crying.
well, he's here. Walk is here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then Walker starts dancing. Look at me, look.
I mean, he kind of has a moment like he kind of does a moment of that later.
Yeah, he kind of does. I didn't even think of that. Holy shit.
But Titus, like, after that flashback, Titus has like a moment of like resolve, I guess, and he says, I can't let her die, I'll find her. And so like I feel like his motivation during this scene changes, right, from like assisting Yuna on the pilgrimage to like, okay, we're gonna make sure that like she doesn't die in it.
So I think that some of this kind of tracks with like the stages of grief where like, you know, first is denial, which I don't think we can really say that like Titus was necessarily in denial about everything up until this point. Like maybe he was, maybe like, I mean, I know he's a dipshit, but maybe like
we could change denial to like oblivious.
Yeah, or just like he may have been like, if he puts any critical thinking into it, he'd be like, oh yeah, like everyone gets quiet when I talk about what we can do afterwards. That's pretty fucking weird. Like we've all gotten really close. We could be talking about that. But instead he could just be like, oh no, they're just being weird, or they, you know, like just denying it and stuff. And then like immediately going into anger. Now he's kind of in bargaining to where he's like, no, I'm not going to let her die. Like, we can come up with a different thing.
Sure.
So I'm excited for the next stage, which is depression.
But yeah, that's the end of the scene, right? Like, that's kind of where it cuts off, I feel like, is with that moment of Titus being like, no, I'll find her.
Yeah, he says, I'll find her. And then, like, Auron and everyone, like, all the Guardians, like, run out, like, towards the camera into the next area.
Also, you can get 10,000 gil here.
Hell yeah. And you should.
Which, if we're in the stage of bargaining, that's a good bargaining chip, $10,000. Yeah. Give that to Sin. Be like, you know what? Go back to the ocean. Here's 10,000 gil.
You know what that equates to? That's like 1,000 points of damage when you use Huck Gil or whatever.
Huck Gil.
Gil
the famous Final Fantasy move, Huck Gil.
I got a better game. It's called Huck and Cupcakes.
Huck Gil does sound like an old like
Mark Twain
lumberjack.
Oh,
yeah.
Huck Gil.
Before we leave,
Huck Gil.
Before we go to the next room, I do want to talk about, did y'all listen to the music of this area? Like, home in general?
I think I did, yeah. I had my headphones in for this as well.
Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, it's the song that goes like Titus is like, truly in this moment, I am my own worst enemy for being so stupid.
It's Beacon Hills. That's where I want to be.
Beacon Hills.
Oh, I think it's the same music that we heard when we were fighting the fiend that they had in the cage.
Yeah, it's mostly
despite all my rage.
At Operation Meathead, we were hearing this music when we were fighting the big claw boy.
Yeah, but there's also an alarm going off and a voice going like, "Come on, Goldie, pop, Goldie, hop."
Yeah.
Like saying evacuate or something like that, right?
Yeah. And like, what is it saying?
Let me see.
Tell me.
It's saying it's annoying, huh?
It's annoying. Huh?
Oh, here it goes. The siren is saying "Cadoid hoof," which translates to "get out now."
Whoa! How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks. But it is constant the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I could really do without this.
It not only is it constant, but it is like less than a second on loop.
Yeah. It's, boy. Anyway,
It's like if instead of like the beat counter, it's just like, we're going to use this sound file.
That's right, yeah. But anyway.
It's not the worst. It's not like unlistenable, but it's definitely not great.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out before we get to the next room, because the next room has something in it.
Ooh.
Some shit in it. It has another catwalk.
Hey.
I love catwalks. So we get into the next room, and there's a catwalk leading up to... Can you tell what it is from this angle? You really can't, can you?
It's like it looks like a boat.
It looks like we're boarding a boat. Like
Maybe it's the Shinra the Shinra
22 or the whatever it was. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It looks like we're getting on a big boat, like a cruise ship or some shit, right? But it's like very dim in this room. Like it's very dark, so it's hard to tell what we're stepping onto. And the camera shows Sid running into this room, right? Like there's a room inside the ship that he's running into. And it's pretty cool. It's all dark in there. There's no lights on or anything. But he runs in and he says, "No time. Go, go, go." And Brother runs in behind him and says, 3 minutes left. And they're all saying this in Albed, by the way.
Reno, we reach 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sid says, hurry, you have 1 minute. And like Titus runs in and says, "Where's Yuna?" But when he says, "Where's Yuna?" I like, if you look at Brother, he's like reeling from the fact he was just told he has 1 minute to get this thing going. He's like, "Ugh." He's like freaking out. But yeah, we're on like the bridge of a ship, right? And like there's like a big glowing orb in the middle of it, and
it's like a giant save sphere, it looks like.
Like a giant save sphere, and like there's a gigantic front window, like a bridge window where they would actually see out the front of the ship, right?
Yeah, you know what this room looks like aesthetically? It looks like a laser tag place in like the late 90s.
Yeah, it does. Yo, I would
cool
love to play
hell.
laser tag in here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, Sid says, and Albed, he says, "Everyone on board? Everyone alive?" And Titus just goes, "I said, where is she?" And he goes up to Sid and like grabs Sid and says,
Answer me, damn you!"
And he like picks Sid up by his shirt, right?
Yeah.
Like Titus is like lifting Sid up off the ground, and like, oh, I love Sid. He's such a badass. He just says,
"What do you do when you find her, eh?"
and like Sid's being picked up off the ground, and just like, yeah, what if you do find Yuna? What are you gonna do then? And I'm just like, ah. And Titus says, I didn't know anything about what a summoner is supposed to do, and I told her all those things without even knowing. I have to tell her. I've got to tell her I'm sorry. And I like that Sid like mocks him, and he's like, "That's it. You're gonna tell her you're sorry." Like he says it like
he's like
that.
laughing at him rather.
Yeah, he's like laughing at him, and he says, "And then you're just gonna drag her to Xanarkand to make her fight Sin, huh? You're all the same. Let the summoner die so we can live in peace." And then he like picks Titus. He like forces himself back down on the ground, picks Titus up over his shoulder, and just throws him across the deck. It's like real brutal.
Yeah, he fucking like whips him over like it's like a wrestling move.
Like a wrestling move, just slams him into the ground. It's fucking sick.
It's funny because like in the American dub, like Titus doesn't make any noise. He just keeps talking.
No, he just keeps talking. He just gets up and keeps going. He says, and the way he says no, he goes, "No!" Like that. And Sid says, "Ha, words, show me action." And Titus says, "I'm telling you, she won't die."
Yeah, and then Sid gets serious.
Oh, Sid gets so fucking serious. Yeah.
Yeah, he says, "Boy, don't forget those words, because if you do, I'm going to make you regret it."
Oh, I love it. Because, like, you know, we said before, Sid is Yuna's uncle. And so, like, the Albed already are kidnapping summoners so that they don't get sacrificed on the pilgrimage. And Sid has, like, a special reason to not want Yuna to get sacrificed on this pilgrimage. Like, they're related. You know what I mean? So he's like very, very much protective. So he's like, "I'm not going to help you find Yuna." That's kind of how he's acting. He's like, "No, because if I help you find Yuna, you're just going to make her continue with the pilgrimage. We're absolutely not doing that. Eat my ass." And Titus is like, no, we're not going to do that. And Sid's like, "All right. But remember, if you go back on what you're saying, I'm going to fuck you up."
I love this too. Titus says, "So you know where she is?" And Sid goes, "Course not. That's why we're going to look."
Why we're going to look. Yeah, like Sid knew. He's like because I guess we've all assumed that Sid would know where she is, and he's like, okay, so where is she? And he's like, I have no idea. What the hell do you want from me?
He's got his hands full right now.
Yeah, he says that's why we're gonna look using the airship.
Yeah, using this airship. And Waka like runs into the bridge at this point and goes, airship.
Airship. That's a machina.
That's machina, baby. I don't like it. And then brother has jumped into the navigation chair, the pilot chair,
Cockpit.
Right? Pilot seat,
cockpit,
cockpit. And he says, "Father, ready to go." And he says that in Albed. And then Sid says,
"Worry, even make it 1,000 years, Ujantia."
Yeehaw! A flight 1,000 years overdue.
Hell yeah!
And we get a sick fucking cutscene starts here, but it shows like that room that we were in is like a hangar. And it has like one of those the ceiling retracts like it's a football stadium. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Close it up for the rain. Okay, yeah. But it's below the desert, so like sand comes pouring in, and this ship begins to lift off, and we get a decent look at it. Do y'all recognize this shape?
I think I do, but only because of what you said in like one of the first episodes. I think you were kind of hinting at this in that episode, where it looks very similar to what we saw in the ocean when Titus was like found by the Albed.
Yep. So like when Titus was found by the Albed at the very beginning of the game, and we went diving into those other water ruins, and they were looking for. Remember, Riku calls it the big prize. She's like, and then we're trying to salvage the big prize. This was the big prize. Like, this is the thing they salvaged from, like, the second episode of the podcast.
I thought you were actually about to say it looks like the Makalania Temple, because underneath it kind of has the same shape as the Makalania Temple.
It kind of does, actually. Now you mentioned it.
It's got a similar design.
I wasn't far off calling it a yacht.
Yeah, it does look like a yacht. It's similar to like the gardens in Final Fantasy VIII, just stylistically wise, which we'll talk about more when we get to Final Fantasy VIII.
It has a big freaking like a weird, almost like a crown of like a gyroscope kind of blade spinning on the back of it. It looks
there's a big disc on the back of it, right?
It's a giant decoder ring.
It looks like a giant decoder ring that's like. It's standing up vertically on the back of it, and it's as big as the entire ship.
Yeah, it's not totally up and down, but it is bent backwards to kind of make it more aerodynamic.
Yeah, maybe like a 5-degree angle. Not very much. It's not super bent backward. It's still pretty vertical, but it is. You're right. But like the size of it, like the diameter of it, is at least as big as the entire rest of the ship. It's gigantic, and it like rotates as the ship flies. It's really wild, but.
It's like a gyroscope. It is some sort of flying that is not through like normal rocket power. It's
my number one favorite thing about this ship, though, hands down, is that they put their fucking Blitzball logo on the top of it.
Yo, hell yeah.
Birds.
That is what the fuck is up.
That is what we call immersion.
Yeah, because like you remember like when we did the whole the Blitzball episode and we were talking about their flags and their symbols and shit. Like this is the Albed flag or symbol or whatever. So they like dug it up out of the ground and they were like, I fucking love Blitzball. And just like put it right on the top. And I love that.
It kind of makes sense. I think it'll make sense when we like explore the ship a little more.
Yeah, it will. Yeah. But I don't know. That owns
this
though.
This is their tour van. They're like tour bus.
Well, I guess it makes sense, like
for their away games. That's why they were getting it. They weren't thinking about like this big pilgrimage shit or how it's going to help in their plans to save the summoners or anything. They're just like, yo, our Blitzball team will be so much more like fucking like energized and ready to fucking destroy.
If they don't have to
we just have to fly to Luca. Like we just fly there. We don't have to take the sea. We don't have to worry about Sin as much.
Yeah.
Fly me to Luca.
But yeah, so it lifts off. Brother said, "Whoa, it moves," and Sid says, "Risk big, win big." And
we're just saying this all in Albed, right?
Yes, that's in Albed. Then we see a cool scene of it like lifting up out of the hangar. We see some we see Home getting fucking. It's still under attack. It's on fire. Those zoos are flying everywhere. Yeah, it's still extremely on fire. On a scale of 1 to on fire, it is on fire.
It is pretty on fire.
Yeah, more of those flappers that aren't zoos. I think because they aren't zombie looking. They look more like they look more like just normal flappies.
Oh, they look like Garudas.
Yeah, there's normal Garudas.
Yeah, you're right. Interesting.
Just like back at Luca.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
you're wrong, Curtis.
No, that's a good eye because I zoomed in on it. And I was like, oh, it actually is a Garuda. It doesn't just look like one. It is those.
You can get this for cheap. Good deal on Garuda.
Brother says, whoa, it flies. And Sid says, next, we use that. And, like, the camera zooms in on Brother's face, and he gets a very serious look on his face. Like, his, like, eyes narrow and his brow furrows. And he just says, whatever you say. And,
he's kind of looking like the dang Joker, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
He's got the, like, eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bad Joker.
And
yeah,
then
says, do you want to know how I got these scars? And then he follows it up with "I'm Pickle Rick." It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's the funniest shit. But yeah, they start singing like a dirge.
Yo,
like,
it's so good.
Yeah, no, they're not singing a dirge. They're singing with lyrics, the Hymn of the Faith.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like as like a It's kind of a mournful version of it, not like a like, all right, to like victory no matter what the cost kind of thing. Is like a very almost sorrowful chant of the faith.
It's
we're about to blow up home, so we fucking
right.
It's the scene in Lord of the Rings when I think it's like the Battle of Minas Tirith or whatever, where Pippin, the king or whatever, makes Pippin sing that sad song. Is like you see everyone getting fucking just absolutely decimated by the Uruk-hai. God damn, Lord of the Rings is good.
Wah wah gobbler.
Pretzel dipping sauce.
It's Hoagie Fest, back at Hoagie Fest. And then so while they're singing that, it shows Riku, and she's kind of like looking real depressed, right? And Waka asks her, "What's going on?" And she says,
"What's going on?"
She says,
"Sorry, I was thinking fucking Crazy Frog. I'm sorry."
She says,
We're gonna blow up our home."
And Lulu's like, "What? How?" And Sid says, "With one of the forbidden machina." And like, I love
an
how
atomic bomb.
An atomic bomb. I should also say, I love this fucking scene because in the background, that giant bay window, now that we're flying, it shows like us just screaming across the desert, right? Like, it's really cool.
It does remind me a little bit of like the scene when we were in 7, taking down like Diamond Weapon. It was like there's just tons of shit exploding, but we're also just zooming over like this vast expanse of basically nothing.
Yeah. Right. But he says, "Ready, fire," and he says that in Albed, and then we see like the way that this ship is called the Fahrenheit, and I don't know that does anybody say that.
Maybe on the map it does, but I never
think
noticed.
in the map it does. But nobody says.
It doesn't. No, I checked. They just call it airship on the map.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird. Maybe they do later, but the canonical name for this is the Fahrenheit, and we see how it kind of works. Like, its top portion kind of has like a squashed dome on top, and it lifts up slightly to reveal a bunch of like cannon ports, right? Yeah. And and so those cannon ports fire out, and they fire like a giant barrage of missiles. That looks extremely cool. Like, it's very cool. And those just fucking hit the center of home, and like it starts a giant fucking fireball from it. It hits home with such an impactful force that like a explosion.
The blast radius is insane.
Yeah, the blast radius. It's like the dome of blast that it creates begins to expand at an incredibly rapid rate, right? Like, it is just zooming across the desert. And like the ship turns around to try to fly away from it, and the blast is going so fast that it entirely overtakes the ship. Like, the ship goes inside of the blast for like a second or two, but then I guess like the degradation of the blast itself and the speed of the airship finally gets them out of it, though, at the same time. It's fucking nuts. Very action-packed.
Yeah.
So much for all those sandworms.
Oh man, those poor sandworms. There's more desert where that came from.
I wonder if the reason that the explosion was so great is because it just hit all of those shadow gems that were like inside the thing, and just like gravity damage like exponentially, just like.
That's how real atomic bombs work.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they had tons of just fuel stocked there too.
Oh yeah, probably.
Who knows what this thing runs on?
I don't know if fuel can melt the pillars that are holding up home, though.
You think it was an inside job?
I'm not saying that it's definitely an inside job.
Are you saying that Sid...
But I'm saying it was definitely an inside job.
People say they saw explosions at the base of home. Anyway, I like that, like, as soon as this happens, Sid is just laughing. He is just cackling, and he's like, ha ha ha, return to the sand! And he says that in Albed as well. And
yeah, that's super cool.
Sid is such a fucking maniac. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, a necessary part of a Final Fantasy. Are you gonna have a guy named Sid in it? He's gotta be a fucking maniac.
And Brother's crying the entire time.
Brother's crying. He's like, ooh, he's like weeping.
He's like, shut up, baby.
No, he does say,
quit
he
being
goes,
a little baby.
He says, no time for tears. What's good about Machina is they can be built anew, you see. And so, like, I guess he's just like, yeah, we'll just build another home. It's fine. We got more where that came from.
That rules.
Yeah, and then it shifts over to Waka standing there next to Riku, who's also, like, obviously upset about this.
If this episode... If the theme of this episode, what with Titus earlier, is about putting your fucking foot in your mouth and, like, saying the wrong thing, then, like, Waka was not one to be outdone.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to Waka for, like, again being in the clear on terms of, like, that sort of shit, and then being like, nope, I'm gonna make everyone hate me even more again.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, I think he's trying to cheer her up, which is admirable given, like, his whole thing with the Albed and all that. But he says, hey, look, don't get so down.
He's talking to Riku, importantly.
Yeah, he's talking to Riku, trying to cheer her up, and then he says,
hey, look, don't get so down. Boom! Like happy festival fireworks, yeah?
You can cram your happy festival, you big meanie.
She walks away from him, and, like, how the fuck did you think that was going to be taken, Waka?
yeah, maybe, like, the dude who has constantly said, like, I fucking hate the Albed so much that the world would be better without them for the entire course of his existence. He shouldn't be the one to be like, hey, look, I know you're pretty down about the Albed home being destroyed, but just think of it like it's a happy thing instead. Like,
instead of being sad about it, have you thought about being happy about it?
Yeah.
Waka fixes depression all over the world. Everybody's
Meanwhile,
like, oh,
in her
now
head,
I get it.
Riku, when was the last time you drank a glass of water?
Riku's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking obliterate all of Besaid and be like, yo, it's just like a happy festival of fireworks, isn't it, Waka?
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
you fucking piece of shit. But yeah, then we finally have control of Titus again, and we're able to walk around the ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riku says, I'm okay. I'm fine. Really?
Yeah.
And then actually, I don't know why I did this. I went and just talked to Sid next. And, like, of course, talking to Sid was going to give me the next piece of plot point. But usually I should talk to everybody else first.
Okay, so yeah, you can talk to Waka, and he said, why didn't I just shut my big mouth?
Yeah, well, at least he's, like, regretful.
Yeah.
And
That's
not
what
like,
we can
I don't
say
see
about
why she's so
Titus
mad.
in most situations.
Lulu is like, this is tough on all of us. Oron says,
the price for protecting summoners.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, I didn't notice that everyone else got on board. I thought it was just, like, the five of us. Like, did we just kill all those summoners? We were so I thought it was just, like...
Rest in piss, Donna, you piece of shit.
That's what you get.
Oh, I wonder where Bartello is right now.
He's trying to catch butterflies in the forest.
You know what?
He got distracted. He's like, ooh.
You're right. I didn't even think about that because Bartello is not on the ship, and the last time we saw him, he's like, I'm going to find Donna. So I guess that didn't go anywhere.
I think he's literally become a Sisyphus in that there's a boulder that he's trying to push up a hill, and he's like Kamari in the desert.
I guess I can't blame him because, like, he's on the mainland, so, like, he may not have a way to get to Beaconell or, like, any reason to believe that Donna was there. So he's just, like, running around on mainland Spirit, just being like, have you seen Donna?
He doesn't come off to me as someone who, like, is a very independent personality. He seems like he needed Donna to, like, know where to go.
Yeah, for sure.
He's probably just hanging out with that musician.
Oh my god, like the story of him is like Homeward Bound. It's like an animal, like, out in the woods, like, trying to find its way back home.
What did I forget what Oren said to him, but
guard your emotions and then guard your summoner.
It's like, well, I fucked up the second thing.
Yeah. Oron said to him, he was walking down to the locker room, and he had like a towel to wipe his sweat off. And then Bartello gave him a Coca-Cola, and then he said, "Hey kid, catch!" And he throws him the sweaty towel. I'm like 90% sure that's how that commercial went.
That sounds right.
The details might be wrong, but.
So we can talk to Brother, which is giving me big like pilot on the Highwind vibes, who's like just kind of fucking figuring shit out. He says, "Leave me be, I'm concentrating."
Yeah, I get the feeling that Brother has maybe never flown this thing before.
Yeah. So,
this is probably their first test drive. Like, oh, it moves. Oh, it flies.
Yeah,
like,
he literally says, like, oh, it flies. Like, so he's piloting this giant fucking piece of machinery and is just like, yeah, I've never done it before, but...
I'm pretty sure at one point, I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but when you talk to him, he literally says, "Flying is not my forte." And you're like, dude, you're fucking flying all of us.
No, yeah, he says it now. Like, flying is not really my forte. And if you say it again, he just, keep flying, keep flying.
So,
yeah, all of our lives are literally in your hands right now, and he's like, yeah, I don't like this.
So the way that this like cockpit area works, Brother's like at the front of it, obviously, because he's like flying it, and there's two
there's like a
stations.
front, lower, middle like cockpit. Like, it's a very narrow kind of like
front, lower, middle, southern, upper.
Yeah, it's like so.
It's like, his cockpit is like the size of like an actual like fighter jet cockpit, even though we have this whole like
giant
cockpit
bridge
area. Yeah, like bridge. It's a little claustrophobic for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, so there's like other little stations that you have to go downstairs to get to that I guess is like co-pilot or assistant pilot or whatever.
It's just like the Enterprise.
Sure. But his thing is like the path that leads directly to him is like behind that giant sphere that we were talking about, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get to him. I kept going down the stairs and being like, oh, okay, this is like the part where the pilot is and stuff, and like standing kind of next to him and trying to talk to him and not
Where does the pilot sit?
Yeah, where does the pilot sit? So I couldn't get to him, and notably, I think we'll talk about it more next episode, but like, to get like things going, you have to talk to him.
Yeah.
So I ran around the ship multiple times just waiting for something to happen, and I'm like, I've exhausted everyone's dialogue. I've done everything. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I can't talk to Brother. I can't talk to like this other little pilot that's like sitting here. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I had to look it up in a walkthrough. It was like, talk to Brother, and I was like, how? And then I was like, oh my god, I just walk forward.
Well, anyway, so I talked to Sid next, and Titus asks him, "Did you find out anything about Yuna?" And he says, "I'm looking into it, okay?" And like, you know how like sometimes you'll like snap at somebody and then like try to say something nicer. I get that feeling from this interaction where he's like, "I'm looking into it, okay?" And then he like realizes that he's a jerk.
Kind of in a tense moment right now. He just blew up home and he's flying a thing he's never flown before.
Yeah,
while also like his entire like race and family has just been evacuated and is like, "Where's my girlfriend?"
Yeah.
It's like,
but he says, but he like strikes a little bit calmer tone after that and says, "Don't worry, I'm using a sphere oscilla finder. If she's out there, we'll get her." A sphere oscilla finder, get out.
That's some bullshit.
That's some fucking sciencey.
Come and check out this gizmo.
Yeah. And even Titus is like, "A sphere oscilla finder," and Sid says,
"It's an ancient machina. I don't know how it works either, so don't ask me, okay?"
And Lulu's like, "And you still use it?"
He's like, "Riku, how do I print to PDF on this thing?"
Yes, it says, "I don't even rightly know how this rig flies either. All because of the Yevon taboo on Machina. We're running around in the dark here. Ain't it a rush, kiddos?"
I love that.
Sid rules. He's just like, "We're all gonna die." Isn't that great?
Yeah, if you talk to him again, he says, "Careful what you touch. The ship's not as stable as she looks." It is an old piece of shit. It's like real clunker.
Oh boy. But yeah, and then like we begin kind of like a chill period, I guess. Like all the action's over, and so when we go around and start talking to people are like Lulu's like, "Well, I guess we're stuck here for now." And Waka's just in disbelief. Brother's mad at you for talking to him because he's flying. But yeah. And if you talk to Aaron, Aaron has left the bridge, by the way. He's standing in the hallway, like a little ways back, just by himself.
It's almost like the middle area between like the cockpit and like the rest of the ship.
Right.
It's almost like an airlock or something.
Yeah, he says, whether Yuna's safe or not, there's trouble brewing. And I was like, oh boy, shit's about to get cray.
It's like, shit seems troublesome. I can smell it.
Yeah, but there's like a little moment of like emotional reprieve here. Like, I feel like it's been very action-packed this entire episode, you know what I mean? From the beginning of Home all the way to now. But there is a moment of like, hey, we're looking for Yuna, we have to find her, and until then, there's nothing we can do, so just go run around the ship, go talk to people.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I guess is where we're going to leave it today, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot. The ship's pretty big, so yeah, we'll probably save all the ship shit for next week.
The ship is significantly larger than Home.
It is. There's more screens in the ship than entirety of Home. That's true.
Yeah. A lot of Home was kind of blocked off. Some corridors were not accessible to us.
It was insinuated. So I think next episode what we'll try to do, we're definitely going to get all the business on the ship, and I think we'll have enough time to go wedding crashing again, because our team just can't seem to get enough of that.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to find out whose wedding.
Owaka
is got hitched.
Owaka and Yuna, I don't think so. We go in, we kill Owaka. Trommel shows up and he's like, we take care of Guado problems. Or no, like, we saw Owaka's younger brother. Right? Owaka's younger brother comes up and he's like, merchants take care of merchant problems, and he destroys the sphere that we recorded Owaka on.
He deserved a better deal.
Yeah. We find out that Owaka the 23rd murdered Owaka the 22nd.
Now Titus is the 24th. It's like the Santa Claus.
Yeah, once you kill one, you become the next one.
Which is thematically appropriate.
That's right, yeah. Everything in Spira works that way. All right, so yeah, we'll try to get that far. Anything else you guys want to say about this one?
No, it was a good one.
It's a doozy.
A good emotional ride here. I think this is like our Final Fantasies always like kind of take a hard left turn in what they're about. I feel like this is like the moment. Even though like we knew already, like the game's been heavily implying that like the end of the pilgrimage means death for the summoner, like the entire game. It finally has like come out and spelled that and been like, here is the situation. And then we get a little bit of stuff from Titus where he's like, no, my new mission is to make sure that she doesn't die from the pilgrimage. And like, how is that gonna happen? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit. Good shit, Final Fantasy X.
all around.
Yeah. I like where Final Fantasy X is going now. It's like, I know I've said this like a couple times already, but just to say it again, it's cool that like, I feel like starting with Macalania Temple, the game has been a lot more haywire than it was for the first whole half of the game. You know what I mean? Like it was very.
I feel like the first half of it kind of felt like, you know, starts and stops where it's like, oh, okay, you start, you're on Besaid, you like get through all this, and you're like, oh, that was really fun, and then like everything like it shifts to a new area or a new thing, and you're like, oh, okay, I feel cool like saving here and not continuing and just like, you know, waiting until tomorrow to play it or whatever. And in this, it's like for the past several weeks, it's been like, oh, I want to keep going. I want to keep like seeing what's going on. Like this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. It had a very like Pokemon anime feel to it, where it's like, here's the episode of the bad thing happening in Viridian Forest. Now for the next one. Like that has nothing to do with the next town. Now we're in Pewter City. Here's an entire different storyline, and that's done in a week. And like it was like the weekly issue. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the Chocobo Eater. Defeat the Chocobo Eater. Oh, here's the thing that happens here. Gotta take care of that. And now it's like one big conducive story that's carrying along. You know what I mean? And I really like that.
It's
I
like
like how it does that.
It's like X-Files, and it's like Monster of the Week episodes for the whole first season of it. And then towards the end of it, it's just like, here's all the conspiracy episodes all at once. Like, here's how everything's tied together.
I like that in stories. I like when games and shows do that. Because like, the Monster of the Week bits get you used to the characters. It kind of like, you know what I mean? You come to like them, and you know what their thing is, because like they're constantly being used in familiar circumstances, and you're like, okay, I can really build up who these characters are now. We know who Titus is, we know who Waka is, and all that stuff. And now when things get really wild, we see those personalities clashing and being put to the test in weird ways.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good shit.
Some good shit.
All right, well, that's all I had to say about it.
That's good meat.
That's good. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bless us all. Everyone.
I've thrown out Christmas. I now celebrate Live Moss.
On Christmas morn, where every meal is fourth meal.
You there, child. What summoning is this? Why, it's the final summoning, sir.
And I haven't missed it.
Run to the temple and get the fattest faith you can. Summon the dankest Aeon you can.
Titus is visited by 3 Aeons to change his ways. To stop being a sniveling little shit.
It should be Waka. Like, Waka is visited by 3 Aeons.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would make more sense
changes
to be
of
Waka.
Yeah. Do they not have Al-Bed houses for the Al-Bed? Let them live there.
It's like home was just completely leveled. It's like, well, good. It'll decrease the surplus population. It's like a happy firework festival.
Yeah. Happy fireworks festival. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's all I got. I'm all joked out.
God bless us, everyone.
My overdrive jokes meter is empty now. Like I use my Joker drive.
Merry Christmas, everyone. May you all decide to become the Joker. I was trying to think of how to word that as I am going to become the Joker, but like as a wish for everyone.
Guardians are like the 3 wise men, if you really think about it. And Sin's like baby Jesus himself.
Is Sin like baby Jesus? We can't pull that apart yet until we know more about Sin. Is Twoo. Alex, how much? Okay, be honest. How much of the plot have you spoiled for yourself?
I literally do not know anything about what Sin is. Besides just what we know from the game to this point.
How exciting. I feel like I'm very bad at that kind of thing.
Sin is the friends we made along the way.
Tell you what, Alex, blow up our home.
Well, Carl, your GDQ's coming up. How many weeks is that from now?
A couple. It is the 8th.
It's coming up.
So it's like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's 2 weeks from when you're hearing this. If you're hearing it the day we drop it.
A fortnight.
A fortnight. I will be playing Fortnite, of course, at GDQ.
Kids love Fortnite.
I will be doing as many floss dances as possible in front of thousands of people watching. But I am... Yeah, I mean, I feel like we already talked about it a whole bunch. I'm running the mini game in Night in the Woods at GDQ, so...
You've been making a lot of good progress on...
Yeah.
Getting good.
I'm no longer worried about the estimate that much. We'll see how that goes. It could still go very poorly, I guess. But
he's just worried about world record, baby.
Yeah, trying to get that world record. I think I could. The best possible time I could get is like a minute, like better than the world record. So we'll see.
I do not keep on best possible times. I refuse to, because I'm like, what I'll do is I'll have it on my split and I'll only ever worry about that. And I'm like, I cannot worry about that.
Yeah,
so I refuse to put it on there.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like I have around 5 minutes to worry about that versus you, where you're like looking at it passively every 10 minutes for 5 to 10 hours. But yeah, I might have some other events that I'll be speedrunning to announce.
Oh yeah,
somewhat soon. I know for sure one is coming up. I think it's actually going to be the day after my GDQ run. So we'll talk more about that, I guess, next week. But it should be fun. I'll be running Dark Souls at that one, and I don't really have too much time to practice it, so I'm sure it's going to be very good.
It's like riding a bicycle, Carl.
Hopefully.
We're doing the Black Knight Halberd route, and we are not using Gadget. We're just gonna trust that it works. That's a good joke for all you Dark Souls speedrunners.
Oh yeah.
I don't get it.
For the rest of you, fuck off.
Yeah, you gotta give me a lead up, buddy.
Take it away, Alex.
Well, Alex,
oh, you're gonna tell us Return Us to Sand? Is that what you're gonna say?
Ooh, that's good. Damn. I can't. Well, I feel like I can't say it now.
No, you
have to.
I'll edit it. You take the glory.
No. You should put it in there that you said it, and then I'll say it again, and it'll sound real awkward. Well, Alex, send us back to the sands. Gah.
Here I go.
Here I go, blowing up my home again.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Thanks to Neither Round for the theme music, as always. They've been streaming some Final Fantasy 8 and 7 on their Twitch channel. You should go visit them. It's been a good time. They have cats occasionally wrestling on stream, which is always fun.
That was the best. I loved that.
Thanks to Nobuo Uematsu, Masashi Hamauzu, and Junya Nakano for the game music. Rate, review, subscribe. We saw a few good iTunes reviews recently, and it's been real nice seeing that. Call us at 530-MATERIA and every FNFF on all the things. And as always, a world without podcasts. That is the dream of all of Yevon's children. And we'll use that power, even if it means our lives. And that's it.
Very good. All right.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Bye.